In this video, I clean up half the engine bay, and it's taken forever. This is how it goes down. Okay, so I've been fiddling around with power steering lines again. Original VK lines. The low pressure one, I've just got disconnected at the hose there. That screws in fine. The high pressure one is a different story. It did have an original, like a right angle, and it wanted to come out this way. So I've straightened that bend out, put it into where the fuel clamp goes for the fuel lines, and done a bit of rejigging of the lines here, and hopefully that comes out where the pump is. Now it will need a bracket to hold it on there, just to keep it off the sway bar so we don't rub through lines and stuff, but looking pretty good. So I did rejig all this half while the motor was in, and obviously that end there didn't want to fit in, but I'm hoping that that's pretty close to where the pump is. Now I did measure on the frame here where it says this 95 in yellow, but I don't remember what that means. I think it was 95 mil something, I don't know. I'll do some measurements from the engine mount to the pump. I think it's something like 7 inches to the back of the pump, so we'll work out where that will end up. Just quickly, so we go from there, 7 inches. We've got to go back a bit, or quite a bit actually. We've got to go back probably 2 inches. So we're going to have to do a little bit of rebending on this, but that's okay. We'll just put a tighter bend there and a tighter bend there, and that should line us back up. I do need to make a little bit of hard line to connect to that rubber piece, and then the rubber will go to the return on the back of another rubber piece will go to the return on the back of the pump. So I've got lots of hard lines lying around. I'm thinking I'll just cut a piece out of those because they're extremely long. And then I'll just have to get my flaring hat on and put one of those lumpity bits there on, and then we should be good on that side. So I'll redo some measurements, see how far that has to come back, and go from there. Okay, power steering lines are very, very close to completion. We've got this one here, will come up to about where the bottom of the pump is. Got a bit of flexibility there. It's hard to maneuver it with one hand. I finished off the return side. Just put a little bit of pipe down there with a bend in it, and the return will come up and pop into the bottom, into the spot on the pump. So this is about kind of where the pump is, maybe a little bit higher. May need to just bend the pipe down underneath it just a little bit more, but it's about where it wants to be. So I've got that, because it's extra long, got that running under the sway bar for the right height. If you go above the sway bar, it sits up too high, so pretty sure that's not going to work, but we can work with either situation. Vent is just hanging around there. Started playing with the fuel lines. I've got to get this one on the other side of the steering box without disconnecting the steering box, so that's fun. It doesn't want to go. I'm going to have to cut it and then reflare it. So that little hose there, that pipe to that rubber hose to that rubber hose had one flare on it. I cut it, I put a flare on the end so that holds nicely. So things are coming along. Still crazy weather here. It's just been pissing down, but Melbourne, eh? All right, I think I'm finished the fuel lines now. I did end up cutting that return line to get it on the other side of the steering column, and have whacked a flare on the end. Just a single one because it's only a return line, so not that high pressure, so it should be right. Now I want to get this engine bay cleaned up, as in grease wise, because every time I get in there I get covered in grease everywhere. So I've got a bucket of soapy water, and now I am going to scrub and scrub and scrub and hopefully get all this crap off so it doesn't get on me. Well, after a few hours, it's pretty much degreased. Turns out bucket of soapy water does not work. So turns out that degreaser is good stuff. So yeah, just spray it on, loosen it up, wipe it off with a towel, and slowly but surely it comes off. So that's the top side done. I am scared to get underneath and have a look at what it's like, because I don't want that all dropping on my face, but it has to be done sometime. Even cleaned in that tray in there, but I do believe that that may come off, so I can pull that off and do that at a later date. Sway bars come up nice. Cross member, steering rack, looking pretty good. Had to take the lines out because it was just annoying with them in there, and I will clean those up as well because they're filthy. I'm not too much worried about the dirt and stuff on these sections because that's going to be paint stripped anyway. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. We'll get back at it again tomorrow. See you then. Now that we have got majority of the grease and oil out of the engine bay, I'm going to focus here, and we're going to buzz up those holes, get that nice and complete. So I'm going to strip off the paint with the wire wheel, work out which holes that are for the airbox, and then we will weld up what we don't need. Well, I have stripped off and cleaned up this area here. I've gone up to the ID tags and a little into where the headlight bucket is. I have marked the holes for the airbox, which is that, that, and that. So all these other ones need to be filled, but I think I will also fill that and re-drill it because that is a bit messy. Okie dokies. All the holes are now zipped up. If you did notice in the clip, I was putting a padlock on the underside and then welding that, and that's something that I saw on XA Coupe Guy. Weld will not stick to copper. Yes, it does. Sometimes it'll stick there if you can just pry it off with a screwdriver, and it'll give you a flat bottom underneath. And hopefully when you grind these welds back, you don't grind away to nothing. I do see that I missed one there, which I'll come back and do. So the first one, I had the welder set up to maximum and just blew holes, so I had to turn that down. But after that, we're all good. So it's just the 2 holes left, and I'll grind that flat, re-drill that hole, and that'll be our airbox mounts. So that is the next job, grinding down welds. Well, one last thing that I need to mention is the sound deadening that's on all of this, which goes under where I was welding, does get a little hot and melty and a bit smoky, but you should be right. Don't worry too much about that. There's no need to grind it all off because you'll only have to re-put it back on. Well, that's going to do it for the welding and grinding on this part. I have re-drilled the hole there. That has come out quite nicely. No, it's not perfect. It did warp a little bit, but that's okay. You're never going to see under there anyway, but when it comes to priming, I will sort that out then, so it doesn't look quite so lumpy. Again, never going to see it. What's next? Probably more paint stripping. Get some of that out of the way because that's going to be a big job that I am not looking forward to. So I'll hit it in sections and get some done when I can. But first, I should hit some etch prime on that so it doesn't rust, because it's very wet and a lot of moisture in the air, so let's protect that. Update time. I'm working my way through grinding the paint off. I am up to the back side of the shock tower, and I have discovered the body number stamped into the shock tower, which I didn't know existed there. That matches the tags, which I have removed and kept separate for safekeeping. So that's good. One other thing old fat boy here didn't realise is every time I get in and out of this engine bay, I've been stepping on this to get in and out of the car, and then I was looking at it the other day and thought, what's going on with that? And it squashed. So that can't hold my fat ass, so I've had to straighten all that up. Still got a little bit more work on there, but that's all hidden by the bumper anyway. But all this piece is now back level again, as well as the underneath. Going to continue grinding back here for the current time and see how far we get. Wow, it's raining again, like always. If you look at this, half of the engine bay is stripped back. So all I have to do now is whack some etch on that bare metal and we'll get onto some other stuff. But This is taking a hell of a long time. There's so many grooves, nooks, crannies that you have to get into, so using the grinder and the file sander to get into the tight places. But yep, we'll get it in primer and we'll see how we look after that. And there we have it. Half of the engine bay in etch, the hard side to go. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's a lot of work grinding back engine bays. If only I had a sandblaster or something, eh? But I don't. So it's all done by hand. And looking pretty good. But I'd say so myself. So, having said that, that is where I'm going to leave this video. And the next one will be the other half. Alrighty, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.